Yeah, let's continue with the next derivation. So this derivation is the exact replica of the previous derivation. The only change is in the previous derivation, in time domain, we convolved the two sequences on a circular scale. And in the frequency domain, we did multiplication of the respective DFTs. Conversely, in the forthcoming derivation, what we are doing is, in the time domain, I'll be multiplying the two sequences, and in the frequency domain, I'll be trying to convolve the two respective DFTs on a circular scale. That is, multiplication of the two time domain sequences results in the circular convolution of their respective DFTs in the frequency domain. This is the statement of this property. The proof goes like this. If x1 of n is set to form an n-point DFT with x1 of k, if x2 of n is set to form an n-point DFT with x2 of k, the statement goes like this. The product of x1 of n and x2 of n is set to form what? An n-point DFT pair with the circular convolution of the respective DFTs. As I told, the proof is very much similar to the previous derivation, except that what I must do, interchange the roles of time and frequency in the above derivation. Let's begin. Consider what x3 of n. What is x3 of n? The product of x1 of n and x2 of n. Write down the statement for the DFT of x3 of n is given by what? x3 of k summation what? x3 of n multiplied by its complex conjugate factor. Substitute the value of x3 of n is what? The product of x1 of n and x2 of n. In the next step, substitute the value of x1 of n. What is x1 of n? The IDFT representation of x1 of k. What is x2 of n? Written as the IDFT expression of its respective variable. Okay. So accordingly, summation as it is. This is the whole thing is the expansion for x1 of n. This is the expansion of x2 of n multiplied by its complex exponential as it is. Similar to the previous derivation, what I do is combine or put the respective terms under the respective summation indices. 1 by n square is being treated as a constant pulled outside, and for x1 of m is tagged under summation index m. x2 of L is tagged under summation index L. All the three complex exponential terms are tagged under the summation index n, because n is a common factor for all the three exponentials. What am I interested with? The last summation term. Consider the last summation term. See, please note the change. The only change is there I was playing with k, here we are playing with n. That is all the difference here, no change. Considering summation term, as usual, I write this as what? Summation a raised to n. What is the value of a? The same term as what we have seen in the earlier derivation. By progressive series summation, this term is equal to what? 1 minus a to the power of capital N divided by 1 minus a. This is the expansion provided what? The value of a is not equal to 1. What happens if the value of a tends to 1? Substitute the value of a as 1 and expand the series. The resulting answer turns out to be n. Conversely, if the value of a is not equal to 1, as we have seen in the previous derivation, this term tends to 1. See, I have shown over here why. This value of n and this value of n is lying both in the subscript and the superscript. And what happens? This term tends to 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. So hence accordingly this term tends to value of 0 provided this value of a is not equal to 1. It turns out to give me a value of capital N if this term tends to 1. Now, what quantity am I interested right now? Not for the 0 term, with this term n. When this term can tend to be n? When this term tends to be equal to value of n. When can this term tends to be equal to value of 1? Provided what? I introduce the term n both in the subscript and the superscript. So how is it possible? Provided what? K minus m minus L is equal to what? Minus P times N. Treat P as an integer. Very much similar to the previous derivation. What am I interested here with? The value of L. Do the required substitution capture the value of L? The value of L is said to be equal to what? K minus m modulo in index modulo n. Index modulo n. Recall back the previous equation and substitute the terms. Substitute the terms for your consideration. I'll just show you. See, this is the equation 1 by n square as it is. The first term in the summation will be retained as it is. In the second term, what I do? I substitute the value of L. Okay. And the third summation term is set to be equal to value of n. The same thing has been shown over here. 1 by n square as it is, the first term as it is, the second summation index is replaced as what? x2 of k minus m modulo n. All other terms tends to 0. Only this value of L equal to k minus m modulo n exists. And the last term value is equal to n. This 1n and this 1n will get cancelled. This is the resulting equation which persists at the end. Accordingly, if you could just what? Compare this particular equation, that is what? Summation m varying from 0 to n minus 1, x1 of m multiplied by x2 of k minus m modulo n is nothing but what? The standard equation for circular convolution. Accordingly, x3 of k is nothing but 1 by n times of circular convolution of these two variables. What is basically x3 of k? Is nothing but what? The DFT of x3 of n. What is x3 of n basically? The product of the two time domain sequences, LHS part, RHS as it is. So what is the final verdict? The statement. If I could multiply the two sequences in the time domain, that multiplication of two time domain sequences is set to form an n-point DFT pair with what? 1 by n times the circular convolution of the respective DFTs. For this derivation and the previous derivation, learn any one derivation correctly. The other one, try to do it for yourself. Okay, apply the same logic, you end up in the right answer. Yeah, and we are left with the last two derivations. Let's finish it. The next derivation is to obtain an equation for circular cross correlation. Okay, so I don't know to what extent you would have heard about this word correlation in the previous semester. See, correlation refers to measuring the relationship of one signal with the other signal. So this correlation we view under two scenarios, autocorrelation and cross correlation. Cross correlation is spoken with respect to two different signals, say x1 of n and x2 of n. But whereas autocorrelation is nothing but the relationship of that signal with itself. Hence the name autocorrelation. Probably we should be able to throw more light on this when I could probably handle you the lab session on this auto and cross correlation programs. There I will be teaching you the properties also. Hopefully I'll be able to cover the topic to you people in the lab. And please note that since I'm saying cross correlation is measuring the compatibility between the two signals, it will yield me a higher value provided the two signals are more similar. Conversely, the value of cross correlation yields me a lower value if the two signals are more dissimilar in kind. But what is the standard equation of cross correlation? Let's look into it. The statement goes like this. In general, for any complex valued sequences, please note that the two sequences are not real in nature, but they are complex in nature. For such two complex valued sequences, x of n and y of n, provided x of n is said to form an n-point DFT with x of k, and y of n is set to form an n-point DFT with y of k, the equation for cross correlation goes like this. The variable used to represent cross correlation is Rxy of L. Note these two terms x and y. As long as it is cross correlation, one has to be x, the other has to be y, or any two different variables. As long as it is autocorrelation, what is the term represented as? Either R x of L or R y of L. Probably you would have learned this in your previous year ESLA subject. Yeah. Yes, I've forgotten that. You have learned this in your previous year ESLA. Fine. So Rxy of L is set to form what? N-point DFT pair with Rxy of k. This is what the representation of the same variable in the frequency domain. But what is this value equal to? The product of x of k into y complex conjugate of k. So what is Rxy of L? The circular cross correlation sequence. Please note this prefix, circular cross correlation sequence. So now we should be able to define this. So the circular cross correlation term Rxy of L is given by summation index n varying from 0 to n minus 1 x of n multiplied by y complex conjugate of n minus L modulo n. Please note that. Again, this is what? Circular shift. Whenever the term index modulo n comes into picture, it indicates what? Shifting in the circular scale, and also appreciate this complex conjugate term. So let's get on to the proof. Okay, let's begin with the same statement as it is. If this above equation has to be related with the standard equation for what? Circular convolution, please note that these two terms has to be reverted. Okay, just what? Recall the standard. What is that? Equation for circular convolution. This cannot be n minus L, but this has to be L minus n. So accordingly, what I do is I take minus sign as a common term and rewrite this as L minus n. Why? Just to compare this with the standard circular convolution equation. Accordingly, the equation gets changed like this, By comparing this with the standard circular convolution equation, this equation is what? Nothing but the circular convolution of the sequence x of L with the sequence y complex conjugate of minus L. It is not plain y of L. What's the first step? The first step is to time revert y of L to y minus L in the circular scale and then take its complex conjugate. So this is nothing but what? This, as we know that by the previous property, if I could take the circular convolution of the two sequences in time domain, in frequency domain, this can be represented by what? The product of the respective DFTs. Accordingly, in time domain, if Rxy of L is represented as the circular convolution of these two sequences, in frequency domain, the same variable is given by the product of the two respective DFTs. Hence, The circular cross correlation in frequency domain is represented by Rxy of k is nothing but what? The product of x of k and y complex conjugate of k. As I told you, instead of cross correlation, if you are considering the auto correlation, this is the given equation. This is the given equation. Our x of L is set to form an n-point DFT pair with our xx of k. If it is so, the expression for r xx of k is nothing but the product of x of k and its complex conjugate. By mathematics, this is nothing but the square of the modulus of this term. Done. The last property, Parseval's theorem. Parseval's theorem. Generally, they do ask you this in Viva also. What is the importance of Parseval's theorem? Using this theorem is mainly used to compute the energy of a given sequence, either in time domain or in frequency domain. That's the main importance of this Parseval's theorem. The statement goes like this. In this case also, consider the two sequences x of n and y of n to be what? Complex valued sequences. If x of n is set to form an n-point DFT pair with x of k, similarly y of n with y of k, then the very statement of Parseval's theorem goes like this. A very important question for your Viva voice here. Do remember this. In time domain, summation n varying from 0 to n minus 1, the product of x of n into y complex conjugate of n is given by, in frequency domain as what? 1 by n summation index k varying from 0 to n minus 1 x of k multiplied by the complex conjugate of y of k. The proof is pretty simpler. What we do is we go with the very basic circular cross correlation property. Whatever I had, Rxy of L, the same equation has been visualized over here. The only change, keep in mind, is that I've considered that interval L has to be equal to 0. Accordingly, Rxy of 0 is given by this particular equation where L is being substituted as 0. But in general, what is Rxy of L? Recall what its standard IDFT equation. This is the standard IDFT equation for Rxy of L. How did I get this first equation? From the circular cross correlation property, assuming that indexing value L has to be equal to 0. This is equation 1. This is what the standard IDFT equation. Now, what I do is, in the standard IDFT equation, also I assume that there is indexing L has to be equal to 0. Then this equation gets declined to this equation. Rxy of 0 will be equal to 1 by n summation k varying from 0 to n minus 1 Rxy of k. Because this value of L is 0, e power 0 tends to 1, So, since Rxy of 0 is given by this particular term, I rewrite this as 1 by n as it is, summation k varying from 0 to n minus 1 as it is. By the very definition of circular cross correlation, what is Rxy of k equal to? Your product of x of k into y complex conjugate of k based on the previous derivation. Now compare this equation 2 with equation 1. Rxy of 0 is a common term. By comparing equation 1 with 2, I get this particular equation, which is nothing but the property statement of Parseval's theorem. In time domain, the product of these two terms is equal to, in frequency domain, as the product of the respective DFTs. Not just DFT, 1 by n summation x of k multiplied by what? Complex conjugate of the other DFT. Hence the proof. Similarly, what if the two sequences are the same? What if x of n is equal to y of n? How does the above statement gets converted to? X of n multiplied by x complex conjugate of n is nothing but what? The square of the modulus is given by, again, the first two terms as it is, x of k multiplied by x complex conjugate of k is nothing but the square of the modulus. This is the equation to compute the energy for a given single sequence. If you're trying to measure the correlation or the autocorrelation of the same sequence, this is the equation used to compute the energy either in the time domain or in the frequency domain. So these are all the derivations to be covered in module 1. Kindly go through all the derivations. Any doubts you have got, either you can post your queries, or else in the Monday's live class, I'll be doing the numericals. Kindly come, be prepared with your notebook, calculator, whatnot. And any doubts you can get cleared in Monday's live class. Okay? See you all. Bye.